welcome to Whyda's Corner. Today we're cooking with Whydah. We're actually going to do a little bit of electrolysis today. I just want to go over a couple of the things that we are using. And let's start. Spoon. I usually use a plastic one just in case, you know, you don't want to kind of get electrocuted or anything like that. No, I'm just kidding. just so that you can get the stuff out of the inside there a little easier. I got my lime and lemon juice. If you don't have any lime, I use the lemon. I've got my 20-ounce mason jar with a stainless steel spoon. This clip is definitely going to come in handy, and you will see why. That keeps the two electrodes separated from each other once we put them in the small jar. I've got an old Motorola charger, and I got a couple of alligator clips that I put on the back sides. Baking soda. Baking soda is the one that's very, very important. I don't skimp on this stuff, and you'll see I pack a lot of it in there because I use it over and over until it gets so cloudy that I can't even see the coins, rings, or objects that I'm cooking. I always go with you know, a few extra coins. I've got I'm not sure what's in this one right here, but we'll see. That's the whole idea, right? That's the fun of it. Looks like maybe a quarter. I don't know, it's pretty heavy. Seems to be, or appears to be, silver. We'll see what happens. It's a nice little coin, and that's why we're cooking. So let's begin. One other fact: hot water. I wouldn't say boiling, but very, very hot. Okay?
Helps to dissolve everything.
It does. So let's just.
And with using a stainless steel spoon for your cathode, definitely want to do that outdoors because of the fumes and odors.
Yeah, the odor on silver is really stinky. It's almost like rotten eggs, in fact.
Well, on saltwater silver.
Saltwater silver, correct. So we just take the spoon, put it in, let that dissolve a little bit. Gets a little messy. And what we do is, we already have these marked out. We're going to take this little guy right here, and I always make sure it's nice and tight, not to scratch the coin, but nice and tight. And we'll drop that down on the inside like that. And here's where the little clip comes in. So that way it stays away from the spoon. We certainly don't want to...
Right, you don't want to make a connection there.
Right. And the reason why I'm putting these together now, before I plug it in, folks, you always want to make sure everything's separated, right? We don't want to have an issue with the two contacts touching each other. So I'll just mix that up a little bit. I put a little bit of lemon juice in there, and as you can see, it's already fizzing. It's actually reacting already. The lime or lemon juice that you use
with the baking soda
with the baking soda creates activity. Look at that, it's already starting to work. So basically, baking soda, lemon juice, your coin, your two electrodes. Now we're ready to plug it in. Again, we usually do this in a well-ventilated area. In the winter, sometimes you can do it down cellar or maybe outside if you got a picnic table. That's where I'd recommend doing it. Today we have a beautiful fall day.
And we are well ventilated. We've got the windows and doors open.
There's a good picture of it right there. You might be able to see it. If you look really well, it's already starting to bubble off of the coin. So what happens is when you put the charger or electrodes together into the wall outlet, it sends the electrical charge down to the coin or object that you're actually using for to get that crust off there. It actually heats it up, and what it does is it puts a layer of air in between the object or coin and the crust, and it makes it fall apart. All the crust will fall off eventually. Depending on how long you let it sit there, this one is a pretty good sized coin. It takes, this might take 15-20 minutes, maybe even a little longer. We'll see what happens. But we'll play it by ear. I wouldn't recommend putting anything else in there at this time, especially where it's plugged in. If you need to go back into the jar for some reason to rearrange something, or something slips a little bit, unplug it first. Be safe. All right, well, we're back, folks, and only after a couple of minutes. You can see it doesn't take very long. We've moved locations to the outside so that we don't get the fumes or the smell in the house. But we've moved outside, put it onto the picnic table, and as you can see already, only after about 2 minutes in this concoction and solution that we've mixed up with the baking soda and the lemon juice and lime juice, whichever you have, they both work about the same. The acidity in them things just eat away at the corrosion that's on the coin. As you can see right here, it's bubbling. In fact, that was a real big bubble. What happened just then is, with that being plugged in, sending the electricity through the coin, it's creating that air pocket between the crust and the coin itself, or object that you're connected to. And that's what separates the concretion. It slowly falls off. And you want to keep an eye on it. Look how black this water's already gotten. It's about 3/4 of the way down already. Wow. And it doesn't take very long at all for it to do its job. I would suspect a coin like this, the size of a quarter, depending on how thick that crust is, that it'd be less than 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes total. So we've only got 3 or 4 minutes into it already. Let's see what happens. We'll be back in a couple of more minutes. All right, well, welcome back. It looks like it is still cooking, folks. We're about 5 or 6 minutes into the cook. We will keep you updated every few minutes and show you the progress as it's slowly dissolving. I can tell you the fumes are getting putrid. The more and more we cook this saltwater electrolysis remedy here together, it's not smelling very good. It's been referred to as smelling like a sewer, and it does smell like a sewer. It's putrid. All right, we'll be back with you. Well, welcome back. It's been about 12-14 minutes, and we are definitely cooking. I can smell the fumes. I can see a lot of gases escaping from the water. Let's have a look to see where we're at here. Be very careful when you don't want these two electrodes touching each other. You can see that all the stuff is starting to get fluffy around the outside. I'm sure if I gave this a really good shake, that some of this would fall right off. And you can see how fat it's getting. There's water getting between the crust and the coin or object, token, whatever this turns out to be, inside there. It wasn't quite that fat when we first put it in. So it's starting to work. We're going to let it sit for another couple of minutes, and then we'll give you another update. All right. Well, update. We took the coin or object out of the solution, and this is what we've got left. It's a piece of it anyway. Unfortunately, it does look like or appear to be a silver quarter, and this is the crust of what's left of it. So let's show you what the other piece looked like. That's what's left of it. Not much. You can see the ridges on the coin, and actually on the back part right here you can see LIB for Liberty. We're just not sure if it's a Stand-in Liberty quarter. It could be a Washington quarter that's just been in an unfortunate area that's had a lot of corrosion, or possibly a seeded quarter. We're not really sure. And it doesn't look like or appear that we're ever going to find out what it is or was. But I just wanted to show you, if you keep leaving it in long enough, this is what they end up looking like. Not very good. Which is why I don't usually do this. I usually just leave them with the crust on, hope that after a year or two, if I do move them around, that I'm able to actually just pull the crust off and see on the reverse side of the crust itself an image that's better than actually cooking. So a lot of folks ask me if I clean my coins. This is why I don't do it. It doesn't, it never prevails to the good end of it usually. All right, we'll be back and let's see what that looks like in a few more minutes. It's almost cooked to nothing, but we'll see what happens. All right, well, we cooked our coin, and as you can see, it turned out to be a Stand-in Liberty quarter. Unfortunately, this is what happens when you clean your coins. It is what it is. There wasn't much left to her to begin with, but we knew it was a coin when I saw the ridges, as you can see right there. And we did see LIB for Liberty right here. So when the folks ask me, do I clean my coins, this is why I don't. You can't help it. They've been there for 100 years or better. They started making these, you know, back in the late teens. So if this happened to be a 1917 coin, this is what happens. You're almost there, 100 years in the water, and when you cook them, look how thin that is. There's not much left to it. You could actually shave with that thing. It's like a razor blade. But just wanted to show you what it looked like after we were done. At least we got to see and ID what this coin is, and that's the whole idea of doing some type of electrolysis. All right, folks, thanks for tuning in, and hey, we'll catch you next time on Whyda's Corner. All right, this is where we're at with this coin. Let's see. Just want to show you. If I break this apart on the back side, look at that. Oh, you can see the eagle. The eagle on that coin. Definitely a Stand-in Liberty quarter. You can read $quarter right on the bottom. Not much left to the coin itself. In most cases, the back side of the crust actually shows more detail than the coin itself. You can, on this particular instance, see the eagle right there. And you can see the eagle on the back side. So now I got 50 cents instead of a quarter. All right, folks, thanks for tuning in.